I have never used virtual reality before, but I have covered Star Citizen for years. I have a pretty mid to upper mid-range PC, but I am still looking for the most immersive experiences. I don't have much disposable income, but you might. So with virtual reality becoming an option in Star Citizen this year, Pimax offering to lend me a Crystal Super to take my first steps into virtual reality, and not being the most eccentric when it comes to my computer, aka I don't have any kidneys to spare for new GPUs or RAM, I decided to answer the question, is Star Citizen worth getting virtual reality right now in 2026? Spoiler alert. Bro, dude. This is the most immersive thing I've ever seen in a video game, by far. Holy crap, dude. VR really is the perfect way to experience this game. Look at this! It's pretty good, but not quite ready yet. But from what I can see and what I've been told, this game is supposed to be Star Citizen there, and this tech are a match made in heaven. Honestly, this is the way to experience the game. Let me show you. Many of you probably heard about Star Citizen a long time ago, like at least 8 years. Many of you still probably heard about it, but paid no attention until it became relevant to you or proved itself. Everybody has a different tipping point. For some it's the frame rate improving, for others it's the persistence, many folks are waiting for real progression, and many more just want a proper inventory. Many of you are probably also like me. We want something special, we're looking for something good, something that's pushing technology forward and creating an experience that others are just not trying to provide. Prioritizing cutting edge tech, interweaving systems, kinda wearing their R&D on their sleeve. As an idea, something that's been in the works for over a decade, offering some form of experience that has slowly been pushing the boundaries of tech and gaming. It has taken a gargantuan amount of money and a ton of time, and it's still a pretty risky bet, having proven itself but not quite to the mass market. And even now, it still requires a pretty hefty PC to run. Now, I would forgive you if you thought I was talking about Star Citizen, but this is pretty much the same story for virtual reality. And that's why these are the perfect combo. They've been following similar paths in time and development, and from the beginning, Star Citizen's been pretty much built from the ground up for this game. The actual viewports that the cameras use to display the game are built into the eyeballs of your head. You'll find the smallest details rendered, like the singular bullets in the chamber of each gun. The game itself has kept the control of your head separate from the control of your arms, so that you can actually look around while you're doing something in the game. This translates really well into VR. Most objects have been physicalized, and they've been doubling down on interactive environments throughout the game as well. They've made some strategic partnerships with peripheral companies that has really led the development forward on a good path for this, and ultimately they've just been conscious of the fact that VR was going to be coming at some point in the future. Because of the way this game has been built over time, the rampant passion that runs for this game at the company, and just overall the details that are included in the game, we're seeing an ideal application for VR form here. Look at this! On paper, it's amazing. But as you can see on screen here, it's not ready. At least not for people like me, not for people with PCs like mine. And that's why I wanted to give you this impression. Let me show you what this actually runs like. Hey y'all, Tomato in the editing room here. Listen, I just want to be clear because this footage is kind of atrocious at times. The problem is not the headset. I tried this in No Man's Sky. I played Elite Dangerous.
You are not authorized to be in this area. Leave immediately.
I even had a good time in Beat Saber. That game is fun. But yeah, Star Citizen just isn't quite ready for this headset. Just wanted to make that clear. Now let's get back to it. Okay, so this headset, this Pimax headset, Crystal Super, big overkill for your first time headset, but I am talking to the Star Citizen community. You love your fidelity, so what runs this? Well, before we get too deep into things, I would like you to know I've only had this headset for about 2 weeks, and in tech world that's about 6 days. And given everything that's happened in Star Citizen over the last 2 weeks, that makes it about 2 days. So this is my first impressions, not a full review. If you want to hear more, I'll have more in the long run. First, I gotta talk though about these displays. They are rendering at a native 3840 by 3840 per eye, and that is beautiful. If you are like me and running at a 2560 by 1440 resolution on your monitor, your computer is going to be running much harder for this. Even at comparable resolutions, you're gonna have to turn things down. I was running at about 1540 by 1540 per eye, which is 20% of the normal resolution, and I was still seeing stutters. That may be due to other issues like my specs. I was running on a 3080 Ti, but Star Citizen was the only game I experienced that had these issues, and changing my resolution actually did help. It just didn't completely solve the problems. So that's really the kicker. This thing actually shows a really nice view of Star Citizen. In a 3D VR environment, it is going to be the clearest representation of the game you can get, if you can run it. Even at that super low resolution I was using where I could see every little dot and the details were getting fuzzy, I was running at 10 to 15 frames per second and experiencing all kinds of graphical issues. But geez, was it not still just incredible to be around the objects and ships. Your field of view is just so wide, and you can really feel your own presence in the game. You genuinely feel like you're kind of reaching into the game, even at the super low fidelity I had. You can even see the inside of your own collar when you're wearing heavy armor, which really gives you a sense of the environment, and it kind of made me self-aware and claustrophobic. But I could just not get past the fact that I had to run at such a low resolution and frame rate just to get that feeling of presence. While I wish I could have it, it's just not worth it for somebody like myself. As I showed you earlier in the video, I do have a 3080 Ti, I have a 7800 X3D CPU, and 32 gigabytes of RAM. I was doing okay in VRAM, but my computer just could not handle the headset. And if you are like me, you've probably been holding off on virtual reality because you wanted to avoid some of the problems that early adopters might be dealing with. Things like software glitches, unintuitive hardware, these big bulky headsets, and unadopted technologies. You know, the things that scare people away from Star Citizen. And just like with Star Citizen, we are almost there. I mean, we don't have foveated rendering in Star Citizen yet, even though this thing does have it, which would help a ton with optimization and probably help people like me run this game better on VR. But there are some other little bits of baggage there. The headset brings its own software you do have to run before it starts working when you run the game. You'll also need to deal with the startup and setup of a virtual reality headset, which, isn't a terrible thing, but when you're already dealing with a game like Star Citizen that throws you curveballs all the time, it can be frustrating to also then have the tech problems of a VR headset on top of that, as well as the possible tech problems of a PC. Seriously, those of you who have been stuck trying to reload your gun and just dying because it doesn't reload, yeah, imagine also being trapped inside of a headset glitching out at the same time. This thing on your head also pretty heavy. It's about 900 grams and you can really feel it whipping around when you're dogfighting or doing some FPS battles and trying to look over your shoulder. Now, the fact I can look over my shoulder is pretty freaking cool, but it's still, not trying to throw my back out. The speakers it comes with are okay. They're not great, but you could remove them and use your own headphones, which might have better sound quality. There are some other speakers you can get for them that are $100 that are a little better, but they felt a little wiggly on my headset, and I wasn't sure I was too into them, so maybe your own headset would be the best bet. I also had to take quite a few breaks while I was using this thing, not because of eye strain, but just because of jitters, mostly. I don't know about you, but I am a lounge gaming person. I like to sit on a couch and lean back and play, so sitting in an office chair already is keeping me a little bit out of my comfort zone, keeping me trapped inside of an enclosed space that sometimes might be running at a lower frame rate and be disorienting, all while dealing with something like Star Citizen at the same time, and possibly hearing some fans blowing up from my PC and my headset. It's a lot. It can be a lot. Most of the time when I'm gaming, I'm trying to relax, and if I'm not, I still want a pretty easy time getting in and out of the gaming situation. Finally, this is PC VR, which means you are tethered to your PC. Which is awful if you have the love-hate relationship with your computer that I do. But if none of that is an issue for you, please listen to what I have to say next. Virtual reality will be the way to experience Star Citizen long-term. Like I said, they are made for each other. I'm not saying everybody needs to do this, but virtual reality in Star Citizen is probably going to be one of the most immersive and impressive ways to experience a game in the next few years. And I'm hoping Squadron 42 is also launching, or at least getting a quick update to allow it to run in virtual reality as well. Now, I'm an eye tracker Andy. I love my Tobii Eye Tracker 5. It gives me the ability to emulate some of the immersion of VR without ever thinking about it. It's always running, it's pretty lightweight, it assists me throughout my PC outside of the game, I rarely notice it, and it actually improves my gameplay quite a bit. It's also much more affordable, and before VR I would have said the experiences are similar, but there is one thing that truly sets these apart. When using eye or head tracking, you're controlling the camera. and you're moving your computer screen around to look into the game. But when you're in VR, it feels like you're actually moving your viewport in that world around, like you're actually there. Almost like you're in a digital submarine looking into the world. Being able to easily look over my shoulder to peek up and over my chair. Wow. Look all the way up or down or lean to the side. All these things are possible to some extent, but heavily constrained with other options. Being able to look around freely while using the UI and kiosks, not getting locked into the screen, finding new details in parts of ships you never saw, just because when you're facing a certain way, your screen doesn't actually see it. It has everything I loved about head and eye tracking, turned up way past 10. It's a genuinely hard thing to describe. It's exactly what I want from my Star Citizen experience, or really gaming in general, and I cannot wait to experience it. Someday. And that's where I stand. I love this Pimax headset. I love the virtual reality tech. Even at the 20% resolution and the 10 frames per second I was running at, I was getting glimpses of the future there. But it's just not ready yet. At least, not for most normal people, not for people with PCs like my own, and not for people who are looking for a relatively frictionless gaming experience. Now, I know we play Star Citizen, so there's no such thing as frictionless, but friction on friction is still more than friction, you know? We put up with the jank of Star Citizen because of how good it is, but this is still experimental technology. And at $1,800 for a headset, you need to know you're getting that perfect experience that you really want. Luckily, there is a great trial period program with this headset actually, where you can get it, pick it up, see if you like it, and if you don't, they'll take it back from you. They don't take the whole price of the headset, just a deposit, so you can check that out using the link down below, and I believe there is a discount also, if you would like. But first, I would advise making sure that you can actually run Star Citizen in virtual reality on a PC before jumping in for the headset. I personally plan on grabbing the best possible VR headset for Star Citizen when the time comes, because I am convinced. And I would suggest if you do have the opportunity to try VR in Star Citizen, you should do so. But if you're trying to get a future-proofed VR headset to run for Star Citizen over the next few years, well, you could. Or you could wait 6, 12, maybe 18 months to see what finishing touches go on these headsets, their software, and VR implementation in Star Citizen, and make a more educated decision. It's like building a PC for Star Citizen in 2019. Would I advise it? Not yet, but I really would soon. Is it going to be enjoyable for people who do it now? Maybe if you can hit the specs. How many people can hit the specs for this at the moment? Not many. If you enjoyed this first look into VR and Pimax and its possibility with Star Citizen, let me know. I was not planning on getting into virtual reality content anytime soon. Like I said, I don't have a computer for it, and I can't afford these headsets myself. But Pimax reached out, and they offered to give me the chance to show you guys what this had in store. And I feel like I have a unique perspective, not coming from these amazing, super built-up PCs that you might see with more familiar faces and more virtual reality-focused channels. So let me see if you'd like to see me try on more headsets, or completely stay away because I look like a doofus. Or if you'd like to just see me do other tech and hardware, there was a new keyboard from Elgato that I really wanted to try and review with the Stream Deck. And if you want to check one of these out, there is a link for you in the video description. You can use the code TOMATO to get a discount, and let me know what you think of it. Either way, I hope you learned something new in this video. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll catch you in the next.